We're live. We are
What's
live.
happening?
Welcome
Saturday
back
night. We
on
are party animals.
the King's Dime. Party time Saturday night. Hope you are out there having some fun. You can join us as we break down the Taipans game from last night. It was a good game.
It was indeed a satisfying win. I wouldn't call it a great game,
Yeah.
but to get it off the board and take down the win that should have happened. But it was pretty close for a good 35 minutes of that game.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on the Taipans? How do you think they look after seeing them last season? They looked dreadful, like really dreadful. Like, what was your take from this new look Taipans outfit?
Young, probably lacking experience. No one really, kind of not that solid older presence to guide them, but exciting team. They just went super cold in the fourth. Loy was heaps bouncy.
Noi?
Loy?
Noi, I think it's Noi.
Noi. Yeah,
Coat Noi or something like that.
Cool, that's it. Yeah, he's bouncy, really good. Machado, don't know if I'm sold on him.
I thought he was all right though. Like
He was all right.
it was like he was a bit like I'm just trying it on, and things didn't really work for him. Like he looked like a guy who could make things happen if things were rolling for him. But a few times he went into Bogut, and you're just like, why are you doing this, man? Like he's the leading shot blocker in the league.
Yeah. It's always fun to watch Nature White play, man.
Yeah,
I really do like.
He shot a jumper. Did you see
I
that?
know.
And a three in the corner. He shot a three. That was awesome. Bogut, I think, was gapping him in the corner and just saying, like, yeah, you can shoot that. And then he just pulled up and popped it, man. It was awesome. I was like, yes.
It was good fun. It's a fun matchup. It's probably my favorite matchup in the league, to be honest with you. It's like, Nature White's playing. He's such a beast. It's the only guy who can back Bogut down like efficiently. They have to double team him for Bogut not to foul. So it was a good night for him. It was good to see some of the other guys. Obviously, very disappointing. DD didn't play.
Back
soreness.
I wonder. I'm thinking rest wise. Like I didn't see. Like we watched that Hawks game. We didn't really see he played all the way to the end. He's a young guy. I don't know. Is that like a worry? Maybe.
I don't know if it's a worry. Maybe he's just hasn't played in the World Cup. Who knows? Maybe just pulled up a bit lame, and they didn't want to risk him when. Looks like they've got some pretty good depth. I mean, they went all the way. They went all the way to the end. Everyone played. Everyone played. Even Quine got some minutes. Not trash time as well. So Lucas Walker played. I think he's a sensible veteran presence. Gets into the right positions. Was rebounding quite well. We didn't see Jordan Hunter. Sorry, we did not see Jordan Hunter. That was interesting call. Not giving. Bogut's off minutes to Hunter and giving it to Kickett instead. I think Kickett probably had one of the worst games of his career.
Yeah, 0-4. Struggled.
Struggled. Defensively, played okay, but not... He's known for offense. Like, he's not known for defense. If you're not really doing anything on the offense, you really got to be locking it down on the defense. And he was okay. He wasn't...
Kickett, right?
Yeah, Kickett.
See... Would you throw Jordan Hunter out there against Nate Jarwai?
No.
Or would you just go, tuck him in the pocket, maybe not just dump him straight in the deep end? Again, but it's also like a hierarchy of roster thing. Like he's clearly one of the end guys on the roster. Like you'd have Lucas Walker in front of him in theory. But we didn't see that in preseason, so that's what made it a bit weird for me.
Yeah, we saw a lot of him in preseason, but we didn't see any of him last night. I would have thought that against Oliver, he might have been okay. I mean, Nate Jarwai is too much of a sensible back down kind of player. But that was Bogut's matchup with him, and
what did you think of Oliver?
Good,
yeah, decent.
Not bad. Decent player. Like they've got a good young team. They've obviously recruited quite well. We didn't see a lot of depth though, and I think that kind of maybe hurt them. They played a lot of minutes, their starters, and we didn't see them going and reaching for their deep bench. But I think they saw an opportunity to go for the jugular, and they tried to take it, but it wasn't to be, unfortunately. Good win for Sydney.
Yeah. I think our experience sort of came to the fore. You could tell they were a team who had only just been thrown together, and maybe not the best coach like environment for a coach to make this team, a well coached unit. Like shout out to like the Phoenix, how gelled they look. Did you see them? You saw them the other night.
Yeah, they were good. I mean, but they got Mitch Creek. Mitch Creek's such a good player.
But even before Mitch Creek came in, when we played him the other night, like a week ago or whatever, like the thing I took away from that, I was like, far out. This Phoenix team looks gelled together. Like they look like a team that they don't look like a team that has just started. They look like a team that's been together like 2 or 3 years. And then when you compare that to a team like Cairns, like that Cairns team was a mess last year. This year it has it's just had new guys just thrown at it, and it's not a like an ingrained coaching environment like one of the top teams like a Melbourne or a Perth or a Sydney. Even Sydney, you feel like they've just kind of we've thrown together a roster a little bit this season, but we've got extra guys to come back from last year, so there's a little bit of cohesion there. But it felt like even though we didn't play our best, our experience and that little bit of cohesion we had got us over the line in the end.
Yeah, I think jae'sean Tate was also very good down the stretch. Some big plays, going in for some some big dunks. Obviously getting fouled by Jawai and hitting the and one, and
no, I believe he blew the and one, but it was the
he blew the and one.
The unsportsmanlike at the end, just ice cold too. I was sitting there like I blew up on the stream and I was like, tech foul straight away, like tech. Like send it up the other ends to like free throw straight away, and I didn't have the sound because I wasn't watching it with the sound. And then like for a second I thought they'd called the foul on Tate, like it was his foul, and then they went to the replay, etc. I'm just sitting there just going, he's not going to make these free throws anyway, so what's the point? And he just like iced them both, like absolutely iced them. I was like, oh, nice. But I felt like that broke their back at the end. Like they kind of had a little bit of momentum coming back into it. But that kind of really broke their back at the end. It felt like a little bit of an inexperienced play with Oliver, like lost his cool a little bit. Tate must be a tough cover, like to play against. Man, he's like a nugget. He's strong, just relentless too. And his leadership, like for the Kings, his leadership I think is going to come up big. Like I said it last night, we didn't have a guy like that last year where you were just like guys that could just take punches and then would just come back at 100% anyway.
Yeah,
like he looks like a guy that doesn't matter how bad his game's going or how bad things are going for the team. Like he'll just always just come back, provide a spark, provide leadership, just keep coming back like after taking punches. So I think it's going to be really important this year.
Yeah, no, shout out to him. He was really good. Now let's also bring out the fact, going outside the game, there was some bad it was bad telecasting from SBS.
Oh, when was it the other night?
Yeah, it was terrible. Well, I was watching halftime, like, we're going to go to some highlights from last year. No, we're not, because we don't have anything on tape. Right, we'll just roll some cats. I was like, oh man, this is bad.
You gotta give SBS their due, but because they've got it's a new package that they've got to deliver.
I don't like the remote calling. You got to call game side.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Was the ESPN one last night? Was that courtside? They have courtside.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I watched it on SBS on demand, so I'm not sure what the ESPN. But SBS is going to be completely remote all year. There's not going to be any courtside calling, which is bizarre.
It is. That's a bit weird. But I watched the Melbourne game today, Melbourne Perth, and Drewy and I can't remember who the other guy was. Like, I was just like, actually, I don't mind Gazy talking basketball. Like, I don't have to watch him coach. But I was like, hey, I don't mind Gazy. But then apparently, like, Corey Homicide and the other guy was struggling a little bit. I just didn't listen to it with sound. It was actually quite refreshing, just being like, I'm not going to listen to any commentary or anything like that. Sweet. I did watch the first, 10 minutes before I went to sleep last night, and I noticed the other guy called Casper Ware, jae'sean Tate Casper Ware. He's like, Casper Ware recovers the ball and passes it to... And the guy, Casper Ware knocks it down and runs up the other court. You're just like, oops. Oh, funny, man.
It's because they're watching it on a TV screen as well.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was good, tough, gritty win. We'll have a look at some of the stats here. Andrew Bogut, only 4 buckets, not much.
He couldn't buy points last. He couldn't buy a shot last night. But
does he look rusty to you?
Heaps rusty. Heaps. Yeah. out of position, some bad block attempts. Obviously, his shooting's probably not there. He probably hasn't gelled with his team. He hasn't played with his team an awful lot. So, and I think he was a bit iffy coming into the game. We didn't know if he was going to play due to that ankle.
A couple of times he came up a little bit like ginger off. There was one foul under the bucket where he came up and he was kind of just limping around. I was like, no, please don't be hurt. Oh, that crazy coming together. I think it was Oliver where he hurt his knee.
Yeah,
how much were you just like, oh no, please don't be hurt. Jeez. It's the type of situation you just do not want him diving in, or somebody diving in his legs. I was just like, oh, please don't get hurt.
You don't. But wait for DD to come back. Once DD's back, we're all good, man.
Yeah, I think. What do you think of Craig Muller's minutes? Like he a heavy supplement of minutes had to go to Muller.
Minutes. We did. Good defensively. I think he's a much better defensive player. He had a bit of hustle, good steal.
Yeah.
You know, gave up the ball, great steal. You know,
dived on the floor. That was good.
Yeah, he's a hustle player. Probably not the best offensive option in the world, but you know, it is what it is. He's tall. He's he can change shot directions, and he's pretty quick on the floor as well. So I'll give him that. But yeah, kick it just looks slow.
Yeah, bit of a worry, eh? Like even that 3 ball wasn't dropping. He got it in his favorite spots, 10 and 2, and then he shot one from 12 o'clock, and it just did not drop. That was a worry.
And it was short. It was well short as well. Good. Let's talk about Lish. Let's talk about the stud Lish. Wow. He was on fire.
Mate. How good? I think he was 6 from 6 to start the game, and then I think he made one of his next 5 or one of his next 6 or something like that.
Yeah, but still, defensively, he was a beast. Offensively, he got us in the game at the right times. Did he put DJ Newville on skates? I think he did.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good. You know, fun guy to watch. I think he's going to have a really good season. It's a very exciting 1 through 3, and obviously the MVP at 5. If we had Jacob Wiley at 4, this team would be unstoppable.
Yeah, man. Any powerful, like even Achul, I think they were calling him on
Joel
the
Lockello.
JLC. We'll call him JLC. Even I was saying to you, like if we picked up a guy like him, sort of 6'11", stretchy guy, could shoot the 3 ball. That would have like he could swap Walker and kick it for a guy like that and play with 11 on the roster and just be like, we don't need that last spot. Like it'll be the perfect balance. It's just that you can see there's a lack of that 4 who can protect the rim when Bogut's off the floor, or someone who could slide to the 5 to protect the rim when Bogut's off the floor. But I noticed they didn't take advantage of it at all last night. Like they didn't. No. They barely dumped the ball into Jawai at all.
I think it was Will Weaver was just like, as soon as Jawai comes on, Bogut's back on. And Nate can only play 20, 25 minutes. So you know you're going to get 25 minutes out of Bogut. So it was a good matchup, I think, in terms of time and fitness. Bogut obviously being a bit more slim than Big Nate. So, you know, you're going to get a good minutes matchup. So you don't need guys, you know, 35 minutes who can rim protect against Cairns. I think they're a little bit tentative, wanted to shoot the ball a little bit more than get to the bucket. Whereas I think jae'sean Tate's main goal is I'm just getting to the bucket. So you got some in guys, but again, like I said, I'm on the Didi Lovato train here, so I was very disappointed. But I think it would have been a very different score if he was on the floor.
I think he's the underrated glue guy that holds a lot of this together.
He can almost play a power forward. Like he's 6'5", he's a bit bigger than jae'sean Tate. Can shoot the ball, fast, defensively proud, you know, good prowess. I would say that he will slot into that 4 potentially later down the track, and they'll play, you know, Casper 1, Lisha 2, jae'sean Tate small forward, and Didi at power forward, and then Bogut at the 5. I think that's what it'll be. It'll be 4 guards, you know, that small ball lineup plus Bogut. It's going to be deadly, man. We saw it against the Hawks. They were shooting threes, lights out, spacing the floor so well. No one knew who to guard because everyone could bring the ball up, you know, really well. Ball security was good. Bruce didn't play too bad last night. Hit a nice 3.
Yeah, a couple of ice cold buckets, and that layup was pretty sweet where he got the steal and finished in traffic. I was like, oh, that's not his wheelhouse. Nice. It was good to see him get a bucket out of the ordinary. What do you think about the rebounding situation? Doesn't seem to have cleared up.
No, it doesn't. It's a bit of a worry this early on again with the lack of defensive rebounds. I think that's again the lack of a power forward in space. But I think you look at where some of these balls went. They were from long chucks, so it's kind of like anyone's game. Anyone who's going to be aggressive enough for it, then yeah, it's up for the taking.
Does it feel like, or did it feel like in last night's game that these balls just go everywhere? And
Yep, I think that's the one, the FIBA rim.
yeah,
Two, it's a team that it was a lot of outside shots, and so you're going to get a lot more long rebounds, and they can go to anyone. But they were a bigger team, so anything that Bogut wasn't going to get, it was more
that's
likely
true. Yeah, they did have a little bit of a longer set of guards, like Noy, the sort of Noy Oliver, because Noy ended up grabbing 12 rebounds. And Oliver kind of, they were scooping up the boards. But I still was feeling like last year, the ball would just go everywhere. But you'd notice that we just weren't really paying attention, and like guys would just be standing around and, oh no. But in this game, it felt like guys were like, we're in the perfect position here, and the ball would just randomly go somewhere. And you're like, damn it. Like, that's annoying. Like, three guys were in perfect position, boxed out. Moller was there, like right there, and the ball just went like dunk over his head, and you're just like, how do you rebound? It's crazy. And then I was watching like obviously the Phoenix game, and then the game today, and I was just like, so many balls just go clang like out into everywhere, and the same stuff happens in these other games because I didn't watch that many games last season, but in this Phoenix first game against Melbourne United, and then Melbourne today against Perth. The same stuff was happening. Like the ball just everywhere, and you're just like two or three sequences of two or three offensive boards where you're just like, God damn, that ball just like went out to basically the free throw line, or out past the free throw line even, or out to the wing past the square and stuff like that, and past the block. Like, you're just like, how do you? It's crazy. Like how it makes you look at the NBA rims and just see how crazy soft they are.
They are soft. Very, very soft.
So what other things, team stats we got to go through? So we didn't shoot the three ball particularly well, did we? Free throw shooting. Let's talk about that.
Oh, was it 40%? Oh my God.
48%.
Jeez.
And we got a lot of free throws too. Like, that's going to be our shtick this season. Is you could see a few times last night what was getting us out of trouble was like the wheel where a guy would run a curl and then pass back out, and then he'd pass it out, and then the guy would curl and somebody would cut. And that was what, like last year, we weren't really getting a lot of those cuts unless it was Bogut finding guys on crazy passes. Like, he found Ware with this crazy pass where he passed it out like nearly 2 meters in front of him, and Ware turns the corner and is just like, oh yeah, the ball's there for me, sweet. Like, he wasn't even paying attention, like thinking that pass was coming to him, but Bogut's passing is so far ahead. But I feel like we're going to just attack the rim now relentlessly. Like, guys are going to come out. They're going to attack the rim. They're going to cut again. You got jae'sean Tate fumbling around in the lane and then still finishing plays. And he's got a really good pump fake and finish. Just cannot shoot free throws.
No. And you know what? It's going to be him and Bogut getting a lot of the fouls. So expect this year to be particularly poor, because Bogut is terrible free throw shooter. God, he's bad.
Yeah, what can you do? I think he was 50% last season.
God, it's worse than Simmons' numbers. Yeah, no, it's pretty bad.
So
someone
I think
who's been a professional athlete for 14 years.
Well, he broke his arm, so he can be forgiven, I guess, for not having a jump shot, since he did break his arm pretty awfully a few years ago. So what are we looking at here? We had 3 sets of burgers. We had Bogut giving up burgers. Then we had, I think Ware gave up burgers, and then Tate also gave up burgers. And then Newley didn't get any fouls. Moller hit both of his free throws. That was good to see. And Walker was 1 of 2. I think Walker missed. Like, we were 6 consecutives, and then Walker missed, and then we were 7 consecutive, and then he hit the first free throw after the 7th. What do you think about Brad Newley anyway? He only played 22 minutes. Looked pretty fresh.
Looked fresh. I think that's a good amount of time for him. Still woeful 3-point shot. Yeah, he's just El Toro, man. Downhill. You get a head of steam on him. He's unstoppable, and he's such a good finisher around the rim. That's what he's known for. That's what he's going to keep being. And, if you find him halfway in transition, you're pretty much guaranteed a bucket, or if not, getting to the free throw line. So He played well. I think you can't really fault him. Obviously getting on a bit in age, but still quick, which is exactly what you need from El Toro.
Just every time he gets his shoulder square, man, you just know like he's going to finish because he just gets his body into the perfect position to finish. To feel like his performance was a little bit like, oh, I don't know what I'm really doing here on this team now. You know, to feel like he was a bit disengaged.
Well, he's the starter, so I don't know if Weaver's had that discussion with him when he's back. Is he going to be a starter? So,
because I think Didi's got more tools in his locker. Like maybe not as strong at the rim, but Didi can still kind of finish at the rim. It's just that 3-point game, and Brad Newley's 3-point ball has disappeared pretty much again.
Pretty much
last year. It was up and down. I think he had that hot streak sort of halfway through the season where he was shooting about 48% from 3. 0-4 last night. A couple of times he probably could have pump faked and got to the rim, and it's just like you've just got to make that your shtick, Brad, this season. You have to... Because Casper Ware, 3 of 13 from 3, like he just is just jacking them up from everywhere. And again, it's from Melbourne last year where he was just the guy who just shot everything. He was like, I'm taking this shot. And everyone was like, yeah, no worries, Casper. Just take that shot. Sweet. I feel like in this team, they're going to get upset pretty quick with like, can you just... Because a couple of times he just pulled up from anywhere and you're just like, Casper, mate, what's going on here? Like from 26 feet, chill out, mate.
Yeah. I think tried to shoot from about 40 feet, but...
he hit one. Yeah, he hit one from like about 34 feet. Like it was crazy. And it was just like a pull-up and just splash. What a stud. Bad
What a stud. All right, let's preview the 36ers game next week.
Jerome
handles Randall. First game at home. Kudos Bank Arena. Be arousing. No, I can't next week.
Oh, boo Earns.
I got a wedding.
Oh, you got a wedding?
Yeah, man.
It's fun.
It's not really at all. I fucking hate weddings.
Eat.
Sorry.
4,370 at that game last night.
That's not bad for Cairns.
Yeah. I was going to have a dig at them, but I'll reserve that. I'll tuck that back in the pocket.
Gets more fans than bloody Melbourne Heart. So they're your Melbourne City.
Melbourne City. So what are the 36ers? Are they playing this week?
They're playing
next
NBA.
round, yeah. So they're going to be coming back from the US to play?
I think so, yes.
Man, that's crazy, eh?
That's a tough ask. It's going to be a tough ask for them to win. I think Sydney's going to take that pretty easily. But, it's a Ware Randall. It's a good matchup. That's the matchup of the round. Definitely Ware and Randall. Old enemies in different teams.
He's going to be thirsty, to impress. Yes,
I think Randall will be. Looks like he's been playing with the big boys in America during the off-season as well. You've seen him with Ben Simmons and a few other guys. Seth Curry. What team?
I'm looking up the players here. What's
DJ Johnson?
Oh, yeah. Tice, Fitter and Turner.
Yep.
Deshaun Taylor. Drimich again. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this team, eh? We'll have to see. We'll scout. We'll do some advanced scouting while they're over in the US.
Dude, they're strong at the 5. Froling and DJ. They're going to be strong at the 5. They're going to stretch Bogut out, and if they can stretch Bogut out and get some big guys in the middle, it's going to be tough. But I think that if we get DD back on board, we'll be all good.
Mm-hmm. I think he kind of completes our roster. I think he
does
rounds the team out nicely, and it'd be interesting to see if he gets that start too.
I think he will. I mean, he's dropped 24, 13, and 29 in the preseason. I think he's definitely earned the right to play at any bloody position he wants.
Well, Moller came off the bench basically for Newley today, and they sort of split their minutes. So I guess maybe Moller goes down to 10 minutes, then you're kind of giving less minutes to Walker and Kiwani, and then taking probably 5 minutes off of Bruce. But really, the guy who loses out is Kicker, because you can't really be on the floor, to be honest. And then if you're not playing Hunter, then I don't know. I think it presents like a little bit of a problem.
I think so as well. But I think with Kicker, it's probably a better matchup. He's a better perimeter 5 than Hunter.
Yeah. Or I think so. Yeah, I don't know.
Better matchup against Froling, or I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch anyway. But looking forward to the next game.
All right. So what do we need to speak about? Anything else? Can we wrap this up?
We can wrap it up. Should we put in our predictions for next round?
Is the round finished yet? No. We'll wait till the round's finished, or do we want to? Do we want to go ahead and predict?
Let's predict.
All right, you keen? I haven't really looked at it. I'll just close my stat sheet and open up the. I got the games listed out here. Shout out to everyone who wants to play in the over-unders and the prediction round by round prediction league that we're set up. That's going to be good. Yeah, that's the one. Come on. Isn't there anything faster than the NBN? So what have we got? Taipans at the Bullets. We've got Hawks at the Wildcats. 36ers at the Kings. Bullets at Phoenix. Taipans at Hawks. So we're not going to we're not going to go live before the 36ers game, are we?
No, we're not going to.
Okay, so yeah, good thing we'll get our picks in right now. Taipans at Bullets. What do you got? Bullets?
Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty strong this year.
I had Bullets as well. Hawks at Wildcats.
I'm going to go Hawks.
Hawks, split it. Nah, Wildcats are going to win that, man. The Hawks just ride into Perth and just.
I don't know, man.
Perth looked pretty awful today, to be honest. Like in stretches, like Tariko White kind of just shot them out of a hole. Nick Kay kind of looks like he's still recovering from his Boomers stint. Like he kind of still looks a bit rusty around the rim. Like he played quite well. I don't know about this Perth team, man. They look a little bit older, a little bit weaker. Melbourne.
Yeah, Damien Martin's ancient.
But he's still effective. I was expecting Melbourne United to run out of steam, but they were still like they played heaps well. I was like worried, but still 0-2. Suck on that. 36ers at the Kings. Kings. It's going to be hard to tip against the Kings this season. I think we'll just take some L's on pretty much the Kings games.
I'm going to go Phoenix against the Bullets. I think the Phoenix are good, man.
Yep, I went with Phoenix as well. I was so close to choosing them in that opener. You know what I mean? I was so close to just being like, you know what, I'll throw a fly out there, but I went for the United pick, the old tried and true trusty United pick, and they ended up losing anyway. And finally, the Taipans at the Hawks. Tough one.
I'm going to go Hawks.
Hawks? All right, I went Taipans. After the Taipans today, I was like, this team doesn't look too bad. Like, if they can somehow, against the lower teams, the crappier teams in this, like, get a roll on and get some momentum out of that. Like, I feel like against the top teams, they're going to struggle because of, like, a team like Melbourne and a team like Perth and Sydney are going to just close games out against them. They got that inexperience factor. But up against the Hawks, interesting. I went with the Taipans, so that'll be interesting. So our round 2 picks are locked in, and I will make a thing and put that out very soon.
Cool.
All right. Anything else? No, nothing else.
That's it, man. We'll catch you after the next round.
Round 1 is a wrap, and we'll see everyone next time on the King's Dime. Take it easy. Peace.